Hey all, I'm going to show you today how you, yes you, whether you're a developer or not a developer, never touched a line of code, can build tools with AI. We're going to show you how to change a mod that I've made with PixieBrix and customize it to build whatever you like with it. So first of all, check out the link in the description. I'm going to include a link to this tutorial, and this is what we're going to go through here. And it's, I promise, not as hard or scary or as intimidating as it sounds. So first of all, what we're going to do is we are going to activate an existing mod that we're going to customize. And just so you know, when you're like, what is a mod? At PixieBrix, we're a low, no-code browser automation tool, and the things that we build with it, we call mods. And you can think of them as modifications or enhancements or different things that you can do to apps across the web. Basically, like a little Zapier type of thing is how I like to explain it, where you can set criteria of like, if this happens, then do this type of thing, or trigger actions to a button, all sorts of different automations like that. So that's a mod, and we have this one that rates and fixes responses. And so basically what this does is you can highlight text, and it's going to pop up a sidebar that scores how that text does according to specific guidelines like positive tone, conciseness, etc. And then it's going to give you ways to rewrite that text. This is built on some very basic, like, you want to sound friendly and personable and concise, like thinking through like support sort of responses. But maybe you want to customize this. In my case, I wanted to customize it to sound like Leslie Knope. So you may want to make it sound like Batman, or you may want to make it sound like Gandhi, or, you know, however, or maybe you just have a very specific vision of like, I want to sound more formal with my text. Here's how we're going to do that. So first of all, let's activate the existing one. We're going to click activate. And super easy to do, no need to configure anything. You may need to create a PixieBrix account if you haven't already. It'll walk you through that process, and then you will just simply click finish activating, and you're good to go. And so once this is available, our next step is we're going to open up our page editor, and you're going to right click inspect, and if you've never done this before, it's going to look kind of terrifying, but I promise we're going to be okay. I'll help you through it. So first of all, if you've never opened the page editor or this the console tools before, it might pop up on the side and look really funky and kind of confusing. If that does, click these three dots here that will show up here like this. Click these and just click this second to the last one to move the dock to the bottom. Gonna make it so much easier to view. And then don't worry about any of this stuff. Just look at these tabs up here for the PixieBrix tab. All right, click that and boom, we're good to go. So now you can see this is the mod that we just activated, the AI rate and fix response tutorial with scoring the menu item. So let's just double check in our tutorial here, and boom, we can see that. We're good to go. All right, and so now we're going to actually copy this. And the way I walk through exactly how to do all of this here, but I'm gonna kind of breeze through and show you here. Click these three dots, just click make a copy. You can call it whatever you want. We can call it sound like Nope. And, you know, again, you can change this to Leslie, whatever you want here, change the description. Doesn't really matter what you call any of these things. By the way, if you haven't done this before, it's going to first prompt you to set an alias, call it whatever you want. And then you'll go through these options, just hit create, and you'll be good to go. And you can now see we have the new one that we created here. We have AI rate and fix response Leslie, and then the original one from the tutorial. So you can see this is the checkpoint here that we've been able to do that. So now let's walk through what's happening in a mod. So this is our actual mod, kind of inside a mod. It's we call it score menu item, but basically each mod is made up of bricks, and those bricks you can think of as specific functions or steps in a workflow. And so when we want to score and rewrite text, we start with what's called a starter brick, and these are your options for starter bricks. It could be a button you place on a page, it could be a context menu, which is what appears when you right click. It could be a quick bar action that appears when you toggle the quick bar. It could be a sidebar panel that appears. It could even be a trigger. It could be just watching for a certain page to load or an element on the page. And so this one starts with a context menu. So when we want to rewrite text, we right click, and you can see right here, it shows the score highlighted response with AI. And we've got two right now because we just made the first one and then we duplicated and made our own. So that's what's going on with that. And then we have a window alert. So this is another brick, and to add a brick, you just click this plus button, and you can search for ones. There's ones that do everything from creating a new card on Trello to adding a row to a Google Sheet, to, yeah, all sorts of things. This would turn into a 20-30 minute video if I started listing off all of them. But the window alert just pops up a window alert, like we saw it do in the text where it said, oh, scoring with ChatGPT. You just put the message here. And this section is where you configure the bricks, right? So you can think of this panel as, this is all the different mods we have. This panel is the different bricks that make up the currently selected mod. And this panel is where we configure what's going on with that brick. So we have a window alert brick. It's going to pop up a window alert. What is it going to do? It's going to pop up a message, and what's that message going to say? Whatever we have in this text. So I could make it say, make this sound like Leslie Knope. And it's going to do whatever I say with that. It's going to show whatever that message is there. And you can test that by, as you go along, by, wrong one. You can highlight that, right click, click, second one, and see, now it says make this sound like Leslie Knope. So, and nothing else has changed because we haven't changed anything else about the mod, but you can see that it's running, so that's what that's doing. This next one here, it's just doing an HTTP request, and you're like, I'm not a coder, I don't want to do this. That's totally fine. Don't worry, you don't have to write any code. This is doing all of the things here. All we are going to change in this at some point is this prompt, because it's just sending a prompt over to OpenAI and saying, hey, do this. Just like if you were to go on your browser to ChatGPT and like post something in there, it's just doing all of this under the hood behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about anything that's going on up here. You're just going to need to actually change things in here. We'll come back to that in a minute. And then this last brick is kind of a series of a bunch of bricks where it displays temporary information, which pops up that sidebar. And so we're saying, hey, call it the scored response, make it a panel. You could also make it a modal or a popover. And then inside that, there's something called render document. And stick with me because I know this isn't the cleanest looking editor. We're working on kind of improving some pieces with this, but this is where you can kind of change and visualize what shows up over there. So you can see the different options here. You can see, we have our headline, we're talking about positive tone, that criteria, there's the score of that criteria, there's conciseness, there's the score there. So we're going through each one of these and sharing overall feedback, selected text, sharing an example of rewrites. That's what we're doing. Great, good to go. Inside of that, what we're doing is we're actually creating another chat response with ChatGPT. And so this HTTP request up here, it was actually scoring the text. Now what this one is doing is it's rewriting the response. So we're doing that like within when that sidebar panel loads. And so again, you don't need to worry about what's happening up here. We're just going to change some of the prompts in there because all we're doing is behind the scenes asking ChatGPT something. And so the framework's already been configured. We're just going to change the prompt. And then lastly, we're adding a copy to clipboard button down here. So if you wanted to copy the change text, you can add it right here. So that's just kind of what's happening under the hood here. So I explained through all of that here. You can see what's going on. We found the prompts. Boom, we're good to go. So now we're going to change the brick. And so you can see I talk about that HTTP request brick. Here's what we're going to change it to. And if you want to come up with someone besides Leslie Knope, you can change this text to whatever you want. I'm literally, just for the sake of this tutorial, going to copy and paste what I've got here. You're welcome to do that as well. So copy exactly what we've got here. And then go back into our page editor, into HTTP response, and boom, this is the one we're changing right in prompt. So just highlight all of that, backspace, and paste it on in there, and you're good to go. What else do I say I need to do? And now, yep, I'm talking about pasting it in here. That's how we do that. Okay. And now we're going to need to do the one more, because remember I mentioned that one is for scoring. The second brick that I mentioned we needed to edit was the one that actually does the rewriting. And so you can see I've got a little bit more detail in here. I'm going to scroll down, copy all of that. Let me get all that copied. Whoop, too much. There we go. Go over here. And we're going to go and create chat response. And again, I'm going to select that whole section up here, paste that in under content. And you can see example of it here. And one more thing, we're going to change original content. previously says original response, we're going to change it to original content right here. You can see right under that one we did. It says original response. We're just going to change to content. All right. So now it looks like this. And let's see. We're going to skip the checkpoint for now because you're with me. Okay. And now we're going to update a few style changes. So we've changed the performance of the mod, right? Because we have said sound like Leslie Knope, score it like across these criteria that are representative of Leslie Knope, score it, and then rewrite it to sound like Leslie Knope. We've said that. So functionally, this mod is now doing its job. But if you notice when we highlight text, it still looks just like, it looks just exactly the same, right? Because we've still got the old one and the new one. Although even when we run the new one, it actually does make the text sound like Leslie Knope. Like you can see these rewrites here definitely sound more Leslie Knope-y. Like, woo, exciting, powerful punch. So that's right, but we need to change a few things to style it. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to change this text that shows up in the context menu. And to do that, we're going to go to the very first brick, and you can see this is where that text is set. So we're just going to change this to be like Leslie. Can call it literally whatever you want. This is all just style changes here. So that's the first change we're going to make. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the chart. So notice when this chart appears, it's still referencing positive, concise, conversational, and factual, even though we told it that we actually want it to sound friendly, energetic, collaborative, and positive. So to edit that, we're going to go over here to render document, and we're just going to click on those pieces of text. I know what this looks like. You're like, I don't want to edit code. You're literally just changing these words. So see, when you double click positive tone, it pops up over here. Highlight that and just change that to the next one. So that should be friendly. And then conciseness, that's going to get changed to energetic. Energetic. And then conversational gets changed to collaborative. And then click this last one down here. Factual is changed to positive. Yeah, so we do that, and then let's also change the headline while we're over there too, because remember this says AI score at the top. Let's just say, does it sound like Leslie? And you can go ahead and click show live preview, and it will actually show you the changes that you just made up there. So you can see, does it sound like Leslie? And you can also see when we right click now, open the context menu, we have be like Leslie instead of to with the exact same context menu. So yeah, so now we just need to save our changes. So you can see this save bar over here. Just click save. It's going to say all changes will be saved and we're good to go. And now we are good to use this wherever we want. So you can test this. You can right click on the page here and search be like Leslie. Make this, see it's saying make this sound like Leslie. It's popping up over here. Does it sound like Leslie? And you can see it's scoring on our new criteria, and it's giving you a new version you can rewrite. It's going to copy that to the clipboard, and we're good to go. So in less than 15 minutes, if you've been following along, you have built an AI tool. Congrats, give yourself a high five. I'm excited to see what you built. Feel free to comment below and let me know. If you get stuck at any point and need any help, head to the PixieBrix Slack community. I'll include a link in the description. I'm super happy to help you out. If you have ideas on like, oh, I want to, add more to this, let me know, and I'm happy to help you figure out how to do that. So thanks for joining, thanks for watching, and let me know if there's anything I can help with.